Buenos días. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this blockchain and cybersecurity seminar from the E4TLI project. A lot of students here in the Aula Magna of the Faculty of Business and Economy of the University of the Basque Country, and welcome for all the people of the network of the project that are following us by EHU TV, our TV channel. Our speaker today is Óscar Laje. Óscar is a true expert of cybersecurity and blockchain. He is software engineer, but he is PhD in business and management in this faculty. And he is working in Tecnalia. Tecnalia is our technological center, our main technological center. Oscar was telling before that they are more or less 1,500 people researching in 16 areas, I think. And Óscar Laje is the head of cybersecurity and blockchain. So imagine, he is leading the laboratory, the first industrial blockchain laboratory in Europe, and he is member of board of directors of Aurea Pass and Pay and Pass solution. So a lot of years working with blockchain, a lot of years working with cybersecurity and their application. So we are lucky of having him here, and so thank you very much, Oscar.
Thank you to you, Maria. Morning. The head of cybersecurity and blockchain and technology is the main research center in Spain and in the south of Europe. And I am a member of the main global alliances in blockchain and cybersecurity. I take part with governments, in the OECD, and etc. So blockchain and cybersecurity are both of the topics that are quite in the news in these years, etc. Because they are quite relevant for our lives, like citizens, like companies, etc. But first of all, I would like to start speaking about what is the blockchain, because it's a term that perhaps is not so common for our students, etc. So a little definition, quite easy definition about blockchain. Remember that blockchain is a ledger of records, digital records of transactions, etc. But instead of being managed by a company, an institution, or a government, is being managed by a community. And this is the point. We don't have a single point of failure, a single entity that controls the information, that controls the truth. And this is quite important. It's a global community of thousands of companies, person, whatever, managing and protecting the information, the truth of the information. And this is why we cannot write in this ledger, like in a traditional ledger. We have to ask or propose some changes to the community. The community analyze the proposals and reach a consensus if the proposal follows the rules, the business rules that we have agree in our community, in our blockchain network. Okay, and if we reach to this consensus, this agreement, this information is linked cryptographically with maths, with mathematics, forever. This situation will be right down in the ledger forever. Okay, it's immutable. So we are speaking about a ledger that is managed by and protected by a community, community of person, of companies. It depends of the networks, okay? And when somebody proposes something, if we reach to a consensus that this proposal is okay with our rules, this will be cryptographically linked to make it immutable, okay? There are several types of blockchain networks. The main important, the origin is the public blockchain, Bitcoin. I imagine that someone has listened before about Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies and this kind of the terms. The Bitcoin, the origin of everything here in this kind of technology, is a public network in which you can connect, read the content of the blockchain. In this case, about Bitcoin, and even you can propose things to the Bitcoin network. Okay, I can propose to I don't know, transfer some Bitcoins to Maria or Noemi, no? But the community of Bitcoiners are the laptops, the computers, the machines that are reading all the proposals and evaluating them and approving those that are correct. Okay, I cannot pass 2 Bitcoins if I have only one. No? This is a rule, a very easy rule. So the public networks are public. You can read, you can propose things, you can be part of the consensus algorithm, etc. Okay. The financial institutions start working and playing with blockchain technology years ago and start working in a very private areas between, I don't know, 2, 3 or 4 bank entities, for example, and in a private way. Okay, they close the access to those networks. Nobody, only those financial institutions read the blockchain network, the information of the ledger, and propose changes, etc. It was the first steps for those companies, but in this sense, perhaps the blockchain has it's quite specific for some use cases, but it's not the common use of the blockchain technology. It's not the best use because it was designed to be public. Okay, so in this way, in the last years, we have promoted the use of public permissioned networks that are everyone. We can connect to those networks. We can read the information, evaluate, etc., the transactions that have been done by somebody or some institution, but are permissioned. Only the allowed and permissioned companies or citizens or professionals can write in those networks. For example, the European blockchain service infrastructure is like this. Only the member states can write in those and agree the proposals in this network, in this case, in the European blockchain service infrastructure, but all the citizens can read about the information that perhaps the public institutions, that the University of the Basque Country are writing down, speaking about, Oscar holds a PhD in business management here in the university, for example. Okay, so I would like to present to others, to companies, to other universities that I have this information in the ledger, that I hold this PhD, but only the public institutions, in this case the universities, can write in this kind of ledger. So this is the typical use for a public permissioned network. Okay, so this three kinds of networks are the most common. You can find another kinds of networks, but public, like Bitcoin, the public networks, private one in the small consortiums of companies specifically, and in the public administration and in a lot of things, in traceability, in a lot of use cases, you can find public permissioned one, okay? Perhaps you have heard about smart contracts that are the native programs that that are being executed inside those networks. We have native programs in our mobile phones or in our laptop or computers. In blockchain, we can run there applications that could be use to execute our agreements, our business rules that we have agreed in our community. Imagine that we can have a network for us, to everybody that is today here in the aula magna of the university. And of course, we can run our program that, has the business rules that we can agree previously, and then program to code in a program and execute in this network, okay? So in this way, we can automate the execution of our business rails and our relationship between us, between companies, between students in this case, etc. And doesn't require the human interaction. So we can, our laptops, our computers, our servers are watching the proposals, evaluating, and reaching to this consensus that we was speaking about in some minutes ago, okay? So, programs, okay? And the other part that is quite important here, and I think that is relevant, is the added value that blockchain offer to our projects, to our companies, startups, etc., okay? After analyzing a lot of projects that we have executed in Tecnalia, hundreds of projects with companies, with public institutions all over the world, but mostly in Europe. We have we can say that the typical problems that blockchain is solving in those projects that has sense, that are being in production today, are projects that need, or companies or ventures that needs the disintermediation of processes, for example, in order to be more agile, without in order not to have a single point of failure. I mean a company that perhaps if it is hacked, we stop our relationship between each other or whatever, or the disintermediation of business models. Of course, not only to operationally make this disintermediation, we can remove or take over some businesses that are in the middle, and perhaps having more profits than the owner of the assets, and etc. Later we can speak about it, okay? The other point that is quite relevant in the industries and the public administration too is the traceability. Especially if we are speaking about public networks or public permissioned networks, in which everyone can audit all the trails, all the information that are in the ledger, we can check and make the traceability of the things. I don't know, the value chain of in an industry or whatever. Okay, we can track everything. We can record everything in a value chain in I don't know, in the public operations or whatever. And if we open to the public, if we open to other companies, we can make this kind of exercise of transparency for the others, okay, for the other members. For example, we have Here in Spain, we have some cases of, for example, in Aragon, the public administration is making the traceability of the some licitaciones, some public contracts. We in Euskadi make the traceability of the beef, etc. In this case, not for transparency, we make it for food safety, for example. Okay, so it's another case, but it's a very good technology in order to track things that we have to assure, and that there are some members in the value chain that are collaborating to make this good in this case. Okay. In some cases, we need a synchronized and consensuated having this kind of collaborative view of what is the exactly value of an aspect or active or whatever, or a process. So we have a lot of people, a lot of companies or governments that all of them want to know exactly the same position or state of an asset, for example. No, and those projects are quite good in blockchain because the ledger, the information is shared by all the members of the community. So it's quite good. And lastly, the true. If we need to have data that is reliable, that has this non-repudiation, that, okay, we can say to somebody, okay, you have write this specifically and this moment in the blockchain. Blockchain is a very good technology for that. Okay. So those are the typical problems that we can solve using blockchain technology. And I would like to remark that blockchain is cybersecurity. And it's not only, I don't know, cryptocurrencies and these kind of things that are quite more famous in the news. But blockchain is a security architecture that the security expert can use in order to incorporate in a solution cybersecurity by design. When we need the integrity, ensuring the integrity of data, when we need this non-repudiation of transactions that some of the partners are promoted in a layer, immutability of and protection of the data, decentralization, in order not to having this single point of failure, for example, or when we need a community-driven security, that all the communities maintaining the security and enhancing the robustness of the system, blockchain is an architecture that we can use in order to do the enforcement of the security of this use case. Okay. We can have several open source technologies that we can use in our startups, in our communities, etc. I am a member of the Linux Foundation. Here, the hyperlayer that we have changed the name to Linux Foundation Decentralized Trust. There, collaboratively, near 500 companies all over the world are working. We are working, generating technology that is open source, with a majority level of being used in the business and administrative way. And we have there technologies, I don't know, like hyperlayer Besu or hyperlayer Fabric, that are the technologies that are being implemented in Latin America to execute the blockchain network, or in Europe to execute the European blockchain service infrastructure, etc. So a lot of use cases that you have read about it are being made with the technology that we are working to make collaboratively. I don't know, IBM, Technalia, some MIT, Harvard, I don't know, Oracle, a lot of names. This, for example, Airbus included in this movement, Bosch, Audi. There are a lot of companies and public institutions, and okay, we have there the technology to be used. So this is quite important. There is not a barrier of entrance that you have to pass, and you have to invest a lot of money in order to start a blockchain project. No, we have the technology open, and the best technology that is being used by governments and by the very, very top companies in the world. Okay. Even Microsoft, Amazon, etc., are collaborating, and they are offering as a service this kind of technologies, but based on this technology. So again, is the technology that is being used. The hyperlayer technology in the private or public permissioned networks, and mainly Ethereum is the best or the option or the main option for companies when we have to develop a very stable project in open communities, and is again is open, is an open source, but in this case it's like Amazon. You have to pay for use Ethereum, not to a company. In this case, there is not a company. There is a community of members that are offering this service. It's not Amazon or Microsoft who is offering these services. We are the community who is offering this service. Okay. Or in the case of Spain, and we have several initiatives in other parts of the world, but Alastria perhaps was the first one. We create with, I am member of the Linux Foundation Decentralized Trust Hyperlayer. I'm member and founder too of Alastria. In the case of Alastria, we create the first public permissioned network in the world, and have been copied by other countries and governments all over the world, in Italy, Latin America, etc. So in Alastria, we don't develop strictly new technology. We use Hyperlayer Fabric, or in this case, Hyperlayer FESU, or Ethereum technology that is open source, and we develop and deploy the networks in order that our members, companies, public institutions, universities like the University of the Basque Country, use those networks that we have developed, to use some use case that they need, okay, in order to collaborate, and don't deploy networks and networks in the world, because it has I don't know, you have to pay for every network, okay, and maintain it. So I would like to start speaking about practical examples of how blockchain is being used today. And the first one perhaps is industry and logistics. Specifically here in the Basque Country, we have a lot of history and lot of industry. We are quite active in the Industry 4.0, even in the 5.0 movement, and we have been working. The companies here in the industry here has been working a lot with applying blockchain in the industrial Internet of Things. So the communication and the records and operation between the machines inside of a company. Perhaps you know the IoT, the typical Internet of Things, or I don't know, smartwatches, the TV that are connected, a sensor of temperature or whatever. So in the industry, we have a lot of IoT devices too, the industrial Internet of Things devices. And the objective here that we have is to remove today's single point of failure, that are the servers, because if some attackers hacks our server, we stop the production. Okay, and this is a very it's very hard for a company, industrial company. So the objective here is that every machine that we have in our industry communicates and execute operation between each other without the need of this point of failure. Okay. If we do so, we reach to this objective, we can assure the stability and the availability of our industries. Imagine Bitcoin has been launched the 3rd of January of 2009 or 8, and till down the availability is 100%. Okay, we don't have any moments in which Bitcoin has been stopped. And this is quite important. During those years, Amazon, Microsoft, everyone has been stopped their availability, offering their services, but Bitcoin hasn't. Is very robust architecture. So this is why, because we have these peer-to-peer interactions in the Bitcoin community. Traceability is obviously in our industry, especially if we are speaking about avionics and automotive sector, etc. When we have a lot of quality points and quality assurance processes, we can track this quality assurance all over the value chain of our industry, in this case automotive or whatever, using blockchain technology. Is quite efficient, and we have the guarantee that the previous partners, the tier 1, 2, 3 in the industry, has been done something correctly, how this partner has produced this component or whatever. We can share securely this information, and this is quite important, because today, without using this kind of traceability, a lot of quality assurance processes are being repeated in the value chain once and two, a lot of times, because we don't have this information. And today, for assuring this, every material in this value chain move from one tier to the other with a lot of notes, a lot of paper, physical papers, signed and stamped by the people that have been working directly with this component. So this is not quite green, and this is not efficient. So this is why the blockchain technology can help us a lot with this situation. Okay. Even in some cases, in the energy sector or in the critical sectors, there are people taking and putting the records of the infrastructure in a blockchain in order to do a forensic analysis if some hacks appear in the infrastructure, to take these immutable records and have information about the attack. Because the typical situation is a hacker entering the infrastructure, gain access to the infrastructure, have a lot of information of the infrastructure during several days or even months, and when executes the attack, deletes all the records about everything that this hacker has done in the infrastructure. So this is quite interesting for these use cases in critical infrastructures. Okay. This for the industrial and logistic use cases. In the energy sector, we are moving to another scenario, we are moving from that traditional energy market, people or companies generating energy, with the TSO, DSO, no, distribution, the transport, etc., and we consuming the energy. But this is something that that is changing today. Okay, the energy market is being decentralizing in these years, and new users that are not consumers, that are prosumers, are entering in the market. They they consume energy for the network, the network, the electricity infrastructure, but they even inject and they inject their surplus of energy for their own generation, I don't know, panels or whatever. And this change and decentralize the energy market. And this is why decentralized technology like blockchain can help to manage this decentralized ecosystem too. Okay. So thanks to this technology, we have been executing during the last years energy flexibility as contracts. Okay, in this kind of contracts, I don't know, the utility can change your energy comfort, for example, in order to reduce your consumption, your energy consumption. And this kind of relationship are stored and recorded in the blockchain. And the smart contract, the program, the native program that is regulating our relationship in this network, will say to the consumer and to the utility at the end of the week or the month, okay, you have access to this person and change their habits, etc., during some periods, and this has a value of whatever. So it's not the utility who gives you, okay, I have to pay you for this interaction for something. No, it's a third that is a technology that is regulating the interaction between the utility and the users, okay? That typically are not houses, are very big companies, campus of the universities, big industries or whatever, okay? But we have this third party that is a technological one, that is a program that is regulating these kind of relationships, okay? We can make the traceability of the energy and its origin, especially if we are speaking about green energy, renewable energy, to our plugs come the energy in a traditional way, and you doesn't know the origin, and the origin will be the same, but if you are paying for somebody to sell you green energy, then you need to know really that this energy is green, is being produced in somewhere that with solar panels or whatever. Okay, so this is why in 2018 I think that we create the first traceability of the energy origin with Acciona, and the first time that we have tried this was in Navarra here with two plants of generation with solar and wind, and from them all over the world has been using this project to take care about the gains, the project itself, and copying and moving to other regions in the world. So this is quite interesting. And this will offer to the consumer traceability and an audit about all the energy that is consuming is coming from whatever. And this is something that we can achieve using this kind of technology. And lastly, in this slide, you check the clearing houses. In the energy sector, I don't know if you know about the energy sector, but we have a lot of clearing houses that are doing in the intermediation between several partners. This is why there are some of those clearing houses that are taking blockchain technology in order to be more efficient for themselves, and there are other consumers of those that are trying blockchain technology in order to disintermediate to these companies, no? In order to to save a little money, no? In the execution. So this is why there are a lot of ventures, a lot of startups that are coming with offering this kind of clearing houses services, but with blockchain technology, without having 300 employees in a company, or this is more a different way of doing this kind of things. Okay. The trading is quite important in the energy sector, in others too, but in the energy sector we have checked how during the years, starting from the Brooklyn microgrid, where there were people in 2016 that were selling each other energy, surplus of energy between them using blockchain technology. It follows, okay. Today we can have in this network in Brooklyn, but we can check another options like share and share, that is promoted by the biggest utility in Germany, that offers the biggest charging point, electrical cars charging points network in the world. So a lot of people are using this network that is for the user is a mobile app, but in the back end everything is a blockchain technology. So this is something that is relevant. You can watch for information about share and share. That is a very interesting project. And speaking about big trading, you have Enerchain that is being used by, the bigger one, RWE or Iberdrola or Enel, whatever, selling energy between each other using this blockchain solution from a startup, from Enerchain. Okay. So trading is quite interesting too, like selling bitcoins, but they share energy in this case, okay, digital assets. So another sector that is quite important, at least for us in the Basque Country, is the health sector. So the energy, the industry, and the health are the risk-free sectors for our territory, and this is another sector in which we have promote the use of blockchain technology, and this is something that we can check in the traceability of medications. In Europe, we are not using blockchain. When we was developing the first trials of traceability of the medications in Europe, everything was done with a traditional technology. And today, in those days, they come to us and to others checking, okay, we have to remove everything, our investment, and put there a blockchain, and obviously all the investment was being done, so we maintain this investment. But other countries and communities that come later in deploying this traceability of medication, they have developed a blockchain infrastructure, okay? Dubai and others has deployed with a newer technology that is blockchain in this case, okay? So again, the traceability is one of the typical uses of blockchain. Speaking about medical history, blockchain could offer for us the option to integrate all the medical records that we have in several countries, in the private and the public sector of the health sector, etc. We can manage all the information put together in a single or integrated medical record for us. And even if we allow to the user, to the consumer in this case, to manage the information, the user could I don't know open this information for Italy public sector when he or she travels to Italy, for example, and close the information about his medical record when he or she comes back to the origin, for example. So you can even do these kind of things in order to empower in this case the user. Okay. For research, for clinical trials, is something that is quite interesting too, because we can share the medical records, this history with the pharma, with the research institution, and we track the use that those institutions execute over our data. And this is quite important because legally you have to make and sign agreements about to access to your medical data for some trials. And every trial they have to speak with you and sign this kind of bureaucracy. Okay, and with blockchain you can do it open and have the traceability, the record of access and for what they have access to our data, etc., and stop sharing the data too. Okay, so it's quite interesting. So in this sector, the real objective is okay. Our data, the data of our health is our property, and we would like to empower the citizens, empower the patient about their data. Okay, so this is quite something that is interesting and important. And for Europe, this is something that is the privacy is something that is quite important in Europe, and with the sensitive data with in this case health data is quite important and quite sensitive too. So we go to other sector like insurance and fintech, and this is something that is they have been touching and developing blockchain technology for several use cases. I would like to speak to you about the most important one. Several, but quite important. For this sector, the identity of the consumers, of the citizens, is quite important. So, and not only for this sector, for the public sector too. Okay. And this is why we have developing in Europe a new citizen ID that is based on blockchain technology, for example, based on the technology that we know as self-sovereign identity, decentralized identity. This is the kind of identity that we will have in the future that we are working on in Europe. And if in the next months or year you heard about the European wallet, that comes with our identity, with our passport, with our driving license or whatever. We are speaking about this kind of technology. In this kind of technology, the owner of the data, in this case, imagine that this is my mobile phone, my data. I can go to the university and, I don't know, register for a master or whatever, and the verifier, in this case, the University of the Basque Country, is asking a proof that, okay, I am graduate and whatever, okay? If I have this proof in my wallet, in my mobile phone, I can present to the University of the Basque Country without PDFs, without people reading the PDFs and checking the digital signature of the PDF, or going to the administration and stamp that the information and the documents that you have entered in the system are the real one and copy of the original ones, without everything, only just with one click from our mobile phone. Okay, if I have no this information in my wallet because, okay, I have the PhD but I didn't use before. I go to the University of the Basque Country or other university. I log in their website and ask for, okay, you have these credentials that I can issue for you. Okay, I take the credential that I need, and this issuer signs and register in the blockchain in a decentralized network and gives me, and then I use. There is not only one credential. When I go to consume some services or whatever, perhaps they ask me several, 2, 3, or 4 verifiable credentials that I have to present in order to gain access to this course, to this master, to this PhD, or this service of the whatever. Okay. Imagine, and this kind of technology has the power of offering or presenting a credential that I am more than 20 years old or whatever, without telling to the verifier my name. So I can prove that I am PhD, that I am that I am a man, I have a PhD in business, whatever, and consuming a service, and the verifier can check everything without knowing my name. Okay, so this is another way of minimalizing the data that we share when we consume, what digital services in the etc. Imagine, in some cases we have to prove that I am over 18 years old, for example, for consuming some services in Europe. I can prove without telling, my name or whatever. Okay. This is something that is quite interesting for Europe, for our privacy, and this is the scheme that we are, the architecture that we are using based on blockchain technology, decentralized technologies, for our identity in the next months and years. And this is something that I would like to share with you, because not to understand really how this operates in the back end, but to know that you will be using blockchain technology for this kind of services, etc., and the options and the benefits of using this kind of technology. Okay. For financial institutions, when we reach to this point, they know your customers automatically. Okay, it's something that you can do in a click, without going to the financial institute presently, face to face, and check that you are alive and these kind of things. You can do it automatically and digitally. Even they know your customers, because with the new regulations in Europe that we have about the fintech companies, etc., that you are using the backends and the infrastructure of the biggest banks or whatever. This today is a problem, and with this kind of identity, we can manage this situation of the knows your customer. That is the one of the top problems in the financial and insurtech technologies. And the typical use case, more specifically for the insurance, is the parametric insurance. The parametric insurance is where I make an insurance and we agree the payment, the quantity that they will give me if, in this case, there is too much rain in our fruit or too little rain or whatever, and with blockchain, automatically we can make the payment that we have agreed in our signature with the insurance company. Imagine. There is some companies, some insurance companies that have been trying insurance products for traveling. Imagine that your flight reach with more than 2 hours of delay, and automatically, without you asking for the payment, without doing anything, the blockchain takes the smart contract takes the data and send you in this case the quantity that you have agreed for this insurance. Okay, this is some uses that has been developed with the blockchain technology in this market. They are thinking about the automation of events, policies, of etc. The fraud detection. That today, for example, in Spain, we have an institution that is taking data from the car insurance of all of companies in Spain and checking the probabilities of fraud in some situations. Okay. In this case, all of those companies are paying for this institution in the middle. So for other kinds of insurance that are not quite big in terms of money, houses or whatever, perhaps it's not good or has no benefits to have this intermediary and pay this intermediary for doing this kind of things, and you prefer to having this kind of free technology executing this kind of detection. Okay. Risk analysis, ensuring this user privacy. And lastly, I would like to speak about some concept of AI and data security and how blockchain is in the middle of this equation. Okay, of course, we have AI in the news every day. And AI is a necessary tool that we have to use, but you have to know that AI can be also attacked by hackers, and the poisoning attacks are the typical attacks that we have received in the AI technology. We can make poisoning attacks of data or models. It's quite more usually in the data. We introduce false information or alter the information in order to model that the model learn something that is good for us. Okay, or even we can change the model itself. If we access to the server of this company, we can change the model. But it's quite common to change the data that are being used by the model to train the model. More if the AI models that we have in the generative AI, etc., has been training using the public internet, in which we can install some hacks for the model, and the model take this open data to openly hack its model. Okay, so we can make a performance degradation of the data. We can change the correct classification of the data or whatever affecting the model. We can even lose the control of how this AI is acting with our customers. That is quite important, and the reputation damage that this can cause is a cause. So you can have you can take this this into account, and even the LLMs, the generative AI, has these attacks. The training data poisoning is one of them, but you can have another attacks like prompt injection, using the prompts to bypassing or manipulating the model, taking sensitive information, for example, from LLMs. If you try to ask to a ChatGPT or others about how to kill to somebody, they will tell you that is not offering you information about that. But if you tell to the model that you are playing a role game, the model will help you. So this is a prompt injection, very easy, but this is a prompt injection. I don't know if they have delayed this kind of injection today, but this is something that has been working during months, for example. If you ask for information about the contact and private information about a lot of management people from the IBEX here in Spain or all over the world, they will show you the information and suddenly retire the information, saying that it's private information and it can share with you. But you can take a picture without some seconds about this information, about the mail, the telephone of this director of the, I don't know, very, very big company. So we have to take it into account, take care to telling to this kind of AI services, taking the typical mail with the with the data signed in the top with the personal data and informing them about our data, etc. So, but the point here is that we can isolate the AI and the training data. The AI needs data to learn. The data is the language in which the AI can learn, and it's like humans. My eldest son, Markel, when he was 3-4 years old, he thought that the money comes from the walls. Specifically from a wall here in our neighborhood that actually this wall was an ATM from a well-known bank. But Markel has no information about financial institution, how to earn the money, the cost, etc. Has no data. So Markel doesn't understand the context, and this is the same. If we go with a very big or good algorithm to a company, and in this case with the first company, we train the model with the data that has this company, as you can check, the two groups are not perfect. Really, we have 3 groups here. And if we use the same model and apply and train with other data from other company, in the second case, you can check that we have not the correct solution. But if we join the data from the both companies, the same algorithm will respond with the correct answer. This is why we need data. The models, the AI without data is not correct. The AI with data will be correct, but the access to data is quite is the one of the goals of the AI today. We need perhaps no more algorithms. We need more data for the algorithms that we have, and we can have the same, not with a clustering algorithm like this. We can have with other models. If the model only has information about this part, will tell us that the optimum resolution is this point, but it's not this point, it's this one, because the model has no information about this part of the world. Okay, so sharing information is the way to having better insights in the future, but when we share the information, we lose the control of our data. And remember, the data is the new oil of our century, and everyone has want to have their data like my treasure, no? And this is the point here. This is why years ago we started speaking about the data economy. The data has its own economy as their value. And from Europe, they start promoting reference architectures to share data between companies, because we need it. The data spaces and these kind of things that we will start listening about. The strategy of data tell us that we have to share data in Europe and create some sharing data in health, industrial, agriculture, etc. Okay, so all these infrastructures are using, that are being promoted by Europe, are using blockchain technology in the middle. They are using decentralized technologies, blockchain technology, and decentralized identities to manage this data sharing in Europe. So we, thanks to GaiaX and other initiatives in Europe, we will have in the future data ecosystems in health, in industry, in mobility, etc. In the case of automotive sector, we have now CATEA X, that is the way in which all the sector is putting the data together using this kind of decentralized technologies, identities, etc. So we are moving to this point, but we have a challenge with this, even with this data sharing, and this the security. We need another cryptography to protect the data, not only to manage the relationship, the integrity of the data, etc. That we have blockchain there inside, but we have combined to maintain the privacy and confidentiality of the data. And we are training some models like federated learning that we can use to share data between us, but are not are not secure. Okay, we can reconstruct the data that we have used, etc. So there are some opportunities here of research or doing things, and we know that we have to share the data, but protect the data and the algorithms, because the model has value too. So this is the challenge today for those platforms. So we can use. It's only for you to know about this. We can use this kind of technologies like multi-party computation or homomorphic encryption. And the point here is that using those technology, we can execute algorithms over data, but this data is encrypted. So we can share encrypted data, process and train our models with encrypted data, and protect the plain text, using plain text for those situations. So we can, using this kind of cryptography and blockchain, have the traceability, share the data, and protect the data. I can give to Maria data about my company. Maria can use this data to train their models without knowing the details of our projects or I don't know if it's my medical record, about my medical record, etc. But she can do research in health or in business or whatever with my data. So this is the point and the objective that we have when this kind of blockchain plus multi-party computation and homomorphic encryption, and this is quite important and relevant, and we have to use everything, and then we have to start making new business models about how to gain money from this data sharing. And we will have with this combination, we can execute studies or analysis about the several databases of other companies without sharing the data specifically. So it's quite important for a lot of research and in terms of economy and business administration, for example. We can generate new models, new knowledge, and train algorithms using data from other companies without taking the real data. Okay, and we can offer in services. Imagine a startup can offer a service using their AI model without sharing the model, their IP, their value with other company. That is the typical situation of the startups that are creating startups with AI technology, etc. That when they come to a bank or very big institution, they have to put their code and their knowledge in the house of their customer, and this is not secure. So we can use for predictive maintenance, for improvement of products. Imagine that I am a manufacturer and I can gain access without revealing the privacy of the use of this product, but gain access to train a model how to improve the product, make digital twins without knowing the private data of the user or whatever. Make those clinical trials in a private way, diagnostic services, even about the DNA, without knowing the DNA of a person, that is quite sensitive, or interoperability between health systems, etc. And lastly, I would like to check to the future, okay? And speak about the crypto economy, okay? Today, our businesses are based on the platform economy. We use the business model of platform economy, or the platform business model, okay, like Uber, Airbnb, etc. The more profitable businesses are those platform business models, okay. This is something that we know, that here we have a lot of information about these kind of business models in the table. And obviously, with this kind of technology that can intermediate between partners, between peers, like blockchain, and being this kind of interaction, the business model of those platforms like Uber, Airbnb, etc. This is why we are speaking about reinvent or die for those platform models. Okay, we can have examples like Open Bazaar, where we can have a technology, is not a company, is not anything, that could offering these services of selling things of second hand or whatever between citizens, without any company in the middle, only with a technology that has been developed by engineers that has been altruistically programmed and code this kind of technology. We have other options like, imagine, for example, Filecoin. Filecoin is another network, blockchain network, another blockchain technology that is being used by people that is installing a Filecoin agent in their laptop and offering to the network, I don't know, 1 giga or 10 giga of their space. And for doing this collaboratively between each other, we can have a new Dropbox, a new Amazon OneDrive or whatever, free or managed by us, by the citizens, without any very big company like, in this case, Dropbox, that is in the NASDAQ with hundreds of employees, and exactly the same, to have our data in the cloud is being offered by the community itself. And this is the change of the future that comes with exactly with this kind of technology. We have been studying, Maria and me, we have been studying how will transform this technology, these models, and we have studied near 100 of those decentralized platforms, the blockchain platform, studying them more than 24 parameters of each company, etc., or each project, because some was projects that are offering services to citizens, to companies, but was projects, not companies. And we identify 3 kind of clusters, 3 kind of models for the future platform business models, okay? The first one is the most traditional one. There is the hosted, that maintains the traditional characteristics of platforms, but using blockchain technology, decentralized technology, to be more efficient in the end, okay? they maintain the proprietary models. They don't open their code in the majority of cases. They do not implement sharing governance mechanisms with the community. No, they are their business. In other cases, in the second case, we have find the federated model that is more collaborative. It's like a collaboration between a startup and the community that are co-generating a network, okay, with these network effects that we have studied, etc., but in a decentralized way. And the governance is shared between the community and this startup. Usually, these startups are non-profit. And the promoter of this non-profit foundation was rewarded with tokens to use this service. Obviously, they sell the tokens to users. Okay, this is a value. It's like shares in a company in this way. Okay. The majority of them use information exchange, like the active to change between peers, and they have this kind of joint venture model with the community. And the code of this network is open source, open to the community, and people are programming and helping to this community to be more effective or with more functionalities or whatever. And the last one, that is the biggest change, is the shared models, okay? Created by the community, not by company, not for a non-profit, by the community, and in some cases for a foundation, and they are quite open. Even free and open, without no one paying directly or indirectly for their services. 21% of them, of studies companies, doesn't have an evidence monetization model. Even they are created, operated, enjoyed by the community, altruistically, like Wikipedia for information, but in this case for services, more or less. Okay, perhaps we have to do more research about this and how to evolve, but I would like to share this kind of free models that are being generating with this kind of technology. So the technology has impact in the businesses too. Like internet has a lot of impact in our businesses, and today we have, thanks to the internet, the platform economy. We can have this decentralized platform economy in the next years, thanks to blockchain. That is another step again. Okay, so closing the session, blockchain has a global influence in the economy. No, it's not only technology. We have to take it into account the importance of the data access, especially for AI, and think about that perhaps sometimes blockchain is not the only solution. We have to incorporate for security another cryptography things, etc. But and that we have a new, in the future, we will have a new decentralized platform models, hosted, federated, and shared, that I have just read and speak about them. So recommendations for those, we have to be aware of this decentralized potential of blockchain impact in the centralized and traditional platforms. Take into account that blockchain is security too, okay? But sometimes we have to combine with other technologies. We must be able to understand the added value of blockchain in order to incorporate in a project, in a company, etc. And we have to promote this responsible data sharing, secure data sharing, and understand these new business models to anticipate and to create these new decentralized platforms of the future. Okay, and I think that blockchain is a tool that you have to use in the future in order to be ready for the change. And Charles Darwin said that the species that survive are not the strongest, not the most intelligent one, but those that best adapt to the change. Thank you. I don't know if you have any comments here, questions, etc.
Probably you have a lot of questions, but in this moment I have to remember our mission, the mission of this European project, that is inclusive, do the technology inclusive. So if the language is an inclusive, please do the question in Spanish. O sea que tenéis un montón de preguntas, seguramente tenéis un gran experto delante. Entonces, dado que la misión del proyecto E4TLI, que tenemos ahí al final del aula magna nuestra directora Beatriz Plaza, es hacer que las nuevas tecnologías, bueno, pues calen en la sociedad y sean inclusivas. Si resulta que el idioma inglés está peleando en contra de esta inclusividad, hacemos las preguntas en castellano, en euskera o en el idioma que queráis, ¿de acuerdo? Pero hacer las preguntas porque tenéis el lujo de tener a Óscar Laje delante. Así que yo aprovecharía. ¿Quién se anima?
I don't know if you have online questions or...
Yes.
Yeah.
Beatriz.
Oh.
To do the question.
Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. Hopefully we can repeat it in the future because I think it has been outstanding. And this is inclusion because you are in a high-tech, huge technology group. And now we are sharing this with university students and also vocational and educational training students online. So the session itself is inclusion, okay? And also with Tajikistan, with India, and with our European partners, Estonia, Portugal, and Spain. So thank you so much. I have two questions, if I may. One, I don't know whether you have any data about where these technologies are being implemented mostly in the market. Would you say in the USA or which European country? Or because you are very strong in R&D, research and development, but from the market point of view, do you have any data about which are the countries which are moving fast forward in these technologies, if I may? And I have a second question, and it is related with energy, because at the moment we have this AI, artificial intelligence revolution, which is going on, and at the same time we have the blockchain revolution going on. So my question is whether the production of energy is sustainable to maintain these two revolutions. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments and for your questions. I will start for the first one. That is, both are quite interesting and it can complement the speech that I have started. The first one, speaking about the adoption in the market, not in the research, of course, is a global movement. I think that we are not in Europe less deploy. We have not less adoption in Europe than other countries. We are pioneers perhaps if we reach to the EU wallet with blockchain, with identity, etc., perhaps we are quite pioneers adopting globally to the citizens the blockchain technology, but the blockchain is in the market today. Some financial institutions are using blockchain, and now we know that the international transfers are more agile, but they doesn't specify why. We like consumers, we need more agile technologies, and this is one of the technologies. So we are in the step of no speaking about the technology itself with the hype of last years. Now we speak about how to solve problems. That is the point, the interest point. And in how to solve problems, blockchain is part of the solutions of some telco providers in Europe and all over the world. The traceability all over the world. They are trying. I don't know. Last week I was speaking with a very big organization in the States that was checking the another initiative here in Europe, that is the digital product passport. That is quite important, and we will have to make the traceability of the products. We will start with batteries, with this kind of technologies, and even with the construction materials to have the traceability. And for this, Europe, we have selected blockchain, and they was calling us from the States in order to have more information, and even asking for the products that we have trying in this kind of exercises here in Europe in order to deploy there. For their sustainability, for reusing things in some businesses, etc. So in some cases from Europe we are pioneers, but the adoption of blockchain is global. I have not specific numbers, but is global thing. And secondly, speaking about the energy consumption of blockchain, for example, and next about AI, thanks to the research effort that we have made in the last 10 years, we have changed the way in which we reach to the consensus in the majority of the blockchain networks, blockchain platforms, and we have moved from the proof of work, that is the original one from Bitcoin, that is a very intensive energy adopter. Okay, they reclaims they need this kind of model needs a lot of energy, to other proof of stake and other ways to do the same thing with near the same security without having energy consumption, without without consumption of 99.90 something% less. So in blockchain we have do this step, and Ethereum, for example, has moved for this in this way. And the consumption is quite low in private and in the European blockchain service infrastructure in Europe. They are not consuming more than other IT products today. Okay, but Bitcoin is consuming today, and I think that if we need some reference architecture with the 100% of security, we have to maintain the Bitcoin like the technologies today. Okay, so like in its origin, but only Bitcoin, not thousands of networks like Bitcoin consuming a lot of energy. And of course, AI technology is with the training is consuming a lot of energy, and I think that we don't have to generate and train new AI models for a lot of users and etc. No, these foundational models that are generated by GPT, by others, etc. I think that is like okay, we have Bitcoin consuming data, so energy in this case, and perhaps we need some open AI, generative AI models that all of us use, and not to reinvent new models and use a lot of energy for the use case of for this company, another one for this company, etc. And the research are starting using these open models like Llama from Meta, etc., or GPT, but most usually Llama for Meta. That is an open source AI, generative AI model. And the point here is not to generate more models like this, to use this with RAG techniques, that are some techniques in which I pass to the model the context. So if the model understands the language, I can pass my context, specific context, and reply. So these models in execution are much more efficient. So open source model and reuse them, and use these new ways, new techniques like RAGs or like others to execute our context, specific context, over the general shared models. And this is the way in which I think that we have to follow, like in blockchain, in the AI context of generative AI, we have to follow this way. I think so. It's my opinion.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to you.
Any other question? Okay. Do you want to say any? ¿Quieres despedirte?
No. No. Thank you for your time, and thank you for listening. That's all. Thank you.
I'm sure there will be additional questions, so we will open a channel for additional questions, if I may, because the EHU TV channel is, yes, no problem. We will let you know. I would like to thank also the Vocational Training Center Arangoya and lectures that are connected online. So thank you so much. And I would like to thank you all for having attended this wonderful session, and I wish you good luck. Bye-bye.